I've been a lot better about punctuality. Back in the day, we didn't know what time this show was going to start at. Maybe it was going to be 6:58. Maybe it was going to be 7:35. So, anyways, Tuesday, Tilly's two piece going down right now. I do got my guy Gridiron Arizona jumping on here in a second. We're going to talk about some alumni ballers. We're going to talk about some alumni ballers, and then my guy Adam Beetlejuice, breaking news. Going to chop it up with him for a little bit, talk about some things that he's seen this spring. Um, your boy stepped out to ASU's practice for the first time this spring, and they look good. They look good. That quarterback room looks deep. Um, Cutter Boley looks good. Jake Fetty was looking super sharp. Mikey Keene, you know what he brings to the table, especially any of y'all that have been rocking with me since the beginning, especially during like the Keene years when he was over at Chandler. That receiving core is insane. The two deep is going to be absolutely crazy. And they got some local guys taking care of business. Saw Giggy make a play today, tight end. That tight end room looking big, looking thick, taking care of Coach Mons. The running backs are solid. Coach Iguano out there doing work. I saw Coach Amy. Shout out to him, the first ever big man director for Just Phillies Flight Club big man competition, which will be going down this year. I will be bringing it back. Um, I didn't see my guy Adam Beadle out there. That was crazy. The first time I show up and uh, he didn't pull up, but it's all good. It's all good. I saw most of the usual suspects. For anybody that's trying to keep up with like ASU sports and stuff like that, the Michelle Gardners, the Brad Denny's. In case y'all not familiar with the Speak of the Devils podcast, I saw the folks from Devil's Digest out there, not including Adam Beadle because he wasn't there. Um, but yeah, they were putting in work. They look good. This ASU team is going to be solid. They're going to be strong. I know some. I saw somewhere that they're projecting that they're going to win. Like I think the over under was like 6.5. Give me the over all day. I'm not sure where I saw that. It was probably a satire account on Twitter or X, whatever. Um, so yeah, so there's that. The Suns. I'm not. I think the Sun. I think the Suns game is just getting started right now. But Suns are balling. They're going to make the playoffs. They're a lock for that play in at least the minimum. They're looking solid. I heard Cooper Flag's coming to town tomorrow. Heard Kevin Durant's in town right now. I saw Cam Cox catching up with his old friend. Lots of commitments going on. I saw Blake Roscoff committed to Washington. Washington. It is not games in the desert for Washington. They are taking care of business. I expect some more commitments to take place before the season starts, and I'm super excited for that. I am going to be bringing Gridiron on in a second as he is uh, navigating. It looks like some technical difficulties, but he'll give me the thumbs up when he's good to go, and then I'll launch him not into the stratosphere or anything, but we're gonna take care of business and chop it up and talk about some Arizona high school football alumni. Um, Also, baseball season's going on for anybody that needs the lowdown on what's going on in baseball. Make sure high school baseball. Make sure that you guys check in with my guy, the one and only JJ Digos. He's like the baseball insider all on his own. He is taking care of the baseball folks all on his own. So make sure that y'all show him love when you get a shot. Castile absolutely killing it. That I know. I've seen the rivals rankings. I want to say that they're like top 15 or something like that. But they're competing with everybody at the top. They're down to get down with all the top competition. Castile, things have really changed with my guy Lushner over there. Taking care of that athletic department. So you got to like what's going on in that part of Chandler. Um, Real quick, I did hear some tragic news. Speaking of Chandler, I did hear some tragic news coming out of Chandler about a young fella, um, a car accident or something like that. Um, Thoughts and prayers his way. So I'm not sure if there's involvement with the football team or whatever, but I did see a football player post something about it, and so I just wanted to show some love that way and whether he's affiliated with the program or not. Thoughts and prayers to the community over there, and I hope that if there's a GoFundMe, please put it out there. Let me know, and I'll do my best to try to get some support behind it. Um, and yeah, other than that, nobody knows what the Cardinals are going to do with their draft pick. Maybe reach for an offensive lineman. Uh, maybe try to get a playmaker. Maybe just trade back. Maybe just trade back. The always exciting trade back. Try to stockpile picks. Build the way that the Cowboys built way back in the day. But yeah, I think Gridiron's ready to go. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on Gridiron for the Inside the Numbers segment, and after that, y'all in for a treat. My guy Adam Beadle going to jump on this thing, take over. Not take over really, because I could never let him do that because I think that's too much for the young fella. But we're gonna chop it up about some things that he's seen this spring, since he's officially been able to get to like some of these camps and see some of these national guys, get busy with the local guys, so that he, on his path, he can start to evaluate and see what's what. Without further ado, I got the one and only Gridiron Arizona, the handsomest man in Arizona sports media, according to the one and only Eric Newman, who is officially, I don't know if we can really use him for those kind of testimonials anymore, because he is officially like in Wisconsin or whatever, enjoying the cheese and the milk because it's dairy safe. Anyways, hang out 25 seconds. Gridiron Arizona coming right back. Inside the Numbers segment, y'all know the deal. Gridiron, what up? Looking sharp. Looking sharp. I like that. Is that a blue shirt? Blue button? Look at you.
It's light blue, yeah.
Yeah, looking super dapper over there. How's everything going? How are you doing?
Good. Going good.
Yeah. And any feelings about that national championship game? What you saw? What you think? A little boring. Too much defense. Talking basketball.
Well,
Utah, Michigan.
Connecticut had to have that kind of game plan to stay in it, and it worked for a little bit more than a half. And you give that Michigan team a little bit of a time to get going, and they're hard to catch.
For sure. Hey, I seen a lot of people on the apps and on social media and doing the live reactions and stuff, talking about Michigan, too many transfers. Like that's a team of mercenaries.
The game is now.
Yeah. So like, is that a thing to you? Like, do you care about like? Do you like? I mean, is it less
I'm not
enjoyable?
Fault Michigan for following the rules.
Bingo.
I mean, you don't like it, Get working on changing things so guys can't transfer every single year when they can make an extra $100K somewhere else.
Well, my guy Kevin McCabe, being a get off the lawn type of guy, he wants everybody to stay at their one institution for 4 years and not transfer. And
But I'm not that's draconian.
I love Kev. Kev.
Even if you had it back the way it was, where you could transfer. Well, I think before you could transfer once. And did you lose eligibility back then? Or
if you transferred, why do I feel like if you transferred down, you could still play immediately? You just couldn't transfer up for some reason, which I feel like that's so weird. I feel like it should be if you transfer up, you should be able to play immediately, but it is what it is.
I honestly don't remember what it was now in terms of the transferring for the college level. If you had to sit at all, or if you were eligible right away. I mean, I'd be okay if you had one free transfer, and then after that, you'd have to sit a year.
We're not talking about high school football right now.
No, we're talking about college.
I just want to make sure, because what I know is somebody's gonna take the clip and be like, "Hey, Gridiron endorses transferring a free transfer." Like, guys, get behind Gridiron, vote for him for mayor. So like, but yeah, no, listen, and I'm sure that we're going to get into that discussion.
One thing is for sure, and that is they need some rules, because what they got going on now is they got guys playing until they're 26. They got the courts having to decide whether someone's eligible for a 6th or 7th year, and they, it's because they don't have the rules in place.
True, that is very, very true. So I was out at spring practice for ASU today. I made my way out, and boy, did they look good on offense for sure. Defense. Listen, not that the defense is sus. Just they look. I saw some good
I
things
saw
on
Uriah
offense.
Nelum's catch today. The clip of that one. Yeah.
Looking like a dog. Looking like a dog. All right. So, without further ado, since Gridiron just mentioned that he saw that, we are going to get into the Inside the Number segment, and we are going to talk about some absolute super talented spring ballers that are Arizona high school football alumni. This list
That
is
counts as hometown heroes, right?
hometown heroes. Raiden Binesbright, wide receiver. This wide receiving core is loaded with local talent. Raiden Binesbright, the wide receiver from Corona del Sol, IMG, and then to Washington and then back here to Arizona State. Butter Tollefson, the super talented do-it-all guy, played some quarterback over there, masqueraded as a quarterback over there at Mountain Point, and then turned into a real gadget guy last year or whatever, and now really trying to take this opportunity to ball and play some wide receiver here at ASU, and it's gonna be fun to watch him develop. Plaz Johnson at wide receiver. Uriah Nellums, you just spoke on him from Santan Charter. Really trying to get loose out there, and he'll probably find himself in that 2 deep. James Giggy, I saw him make a nice little play. Super talented tight end in a super thick tight end room. Mikey King, quarterback, loaded quarterback room also. The super talented, never lost a game at Chandler. Right? He never lost a game at Chandler, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Varsity. Never lost a varsity game. I don't think he lost any games at Chandler, to be honest with you.
No, I mean, the lower levels were really good back then.
He was carving teams up. My goodness, just so we're clear. And he didn't really play, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think he really played his sophomore. Any game that he started, I think he won at Chandler. I don't think he ever lost a game that he started at Chandler.
He was starter his junior and senior year, and they were undefeated both years. Yeah.
Well, he also started his freshman year. It's just
I meant varsity start.
Yeah. Zeth Thews, looking solid over there. Defensive back from Liberty, enrolling early, taking care of business. Tristan Bacon, Prairie Young Black Goat, a pair of linebackers, local guys. Young Black Goat up from the northern Arizona area. Ramar Williams, defensive lineman. Makua Pule, offensive lineman. Zach Swanson, defensive lineman from Brophy. Makua, obviously from Highland. I think I forgot to mention that. And Romar from East Smart, because I don't want the East Smart crowd to hate me. And Michael Gardner from Liberty by way of Oregon, because he was up at Oregon for a hot minute and then came down here because he realized like the weather was a lot better. And we are missing one on here. I believe it's Carson Keeper, the super talented kicker from Corona del Sol. There's a second page to this, I think, is what it is. And I can't find it. I can't find it. Look, the graphic stuff here is cool, but it's not as easy.
Last year, I remember.
Yeah. So listen, I want to mention him.
We've run out of page. That's good. I'm glad
we're going to show up. Yeah.
Getting these local kids. They may not have necessarily been out of high school that they got them. They've got some guys coming back. So
listen, people say that ASU not really recruiting the state of Arizona. Listen, they're trying to do their best to recruit the state of Arizona, and this is proof because I can't even fit all the ASU Arizona bred spring ballers. Gee, let's not get into that yet. Anyways, Gridiron, go ahead, take it away. Inside the Number segment, Arizona bred spring ballers from Arizona State University.
Yeah, we'll look at some offensive players here first. Plaz Johnson, wide receiver. 6 foot 170, redshirt sophomore from Chaparral. Last year, he suffered a torn ACL right about this time of year during spring ball. Missed the entire season. It was during spring practice that he'd gotten hurt up at ASU. Played 2 games the year before that in 24. Made 3 tackles in the Big 12 championship, and he also recovered an onside kick against BYU. When he was at Chaparral, was a 3-star prospect at both cornerback and wide receiver. Rivals ranked him the number 14 player in Arizona. For his career in high school, 125 catches, 1,773 yards, and 14 TDs. In his junior year, he had 1,157 yards.
Okay. He was tough, man. I loved watching him work when he was at Chap.
Another wide receiver, Uriah Nellums, 6'4", 215, a redshirt freshman from Santan Charter. Last year, he redshirted at ASU. Go back to his high school days there at Santan Charter. He moved to quarterback his senior year after a big junior season at wide receiver. You know, they needed someone to play quarterback, and he not only stepped in, but the team went 12-1 and made the 2A semis. Had 1,981 pass yards, 30 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He ran for 894 yards and 11 touchdowns. So you know, played the dual threat back there. His junior year, he was a wide receiver. 53 catches, 1,118 yards, and 13 TDs. We mentioned he's versatile. He also played basketball and baseball at STC.
Man, he was an absolute stud. And there's another Nellums over there at STC holding it down. I know Coach Cartwright's super excited about that. But Gridiron, I'll let you take it away. Keep going.
And then James Giggy, a tight end, 6'4", 255, redshirt sophomore from Bradshaw Mountain. Last year, he did play in 9 games for ASU. His high school days up there in Prescott Valley, played both offense and defense, had 139 tackles his senior year playing linebacker, had 208 receiving yards on 19 catches. He squatted 480 and benched 315 while he was in high school. And he also played basketball at Bradshaw Mountain.
Man, they love their multi-sport athletes up at ASU. I know that Coach Dillingham loves it when guys play more than one sport in high school. And James Giggy is proof. And James Giggy, by the way, before I forget, James Giggy is also a product of going to ASU's camps and sevens and things like that and being seen. So I know ASU's camps and sevens are coming up. So free advertisement there. I just wanted to mention
and they come up right about the first week of June, I think, right around there.
Yeah.
So ASU's got 3 quarterbacks right now, right? They've got Jake Fetty, the freshman from El Paso.
Technically, they got 4.
They've got Cutter Boley, who transferred from Kentucky, and then they've got Mikey Keene, right? Is there a 4th one, or is
there's a 4th? Cam Dyer, who played. I want to say he played quarterback in high school, but he was like a wide receiver recruit, and then like jumped in the quarterback room or whatever. I'm not sure. I can't remember the whole.
Yeah. Cameron Dyer is a redshirt.
Super talented kid.
He was on the roster last year. Yeah.
Super talented.
Okay, so there's 4 guys in the quarterback room, and we'll look at Mikey Keene. Of course, the Arizona connection. 5'11", 200 pounds, redshirt senior out of Chandler. So this is his final year of eligibility. Last year did not play at Michigan. Played 2 years before that at Fresno State, and played 2 years before that for UCF. At Fresno State, had 5,868 pass yards over his 2 seasons, 42 touchdowns. And before that at UCF, had 2,377 pass yards in his 2 seasons and 23 TDs. So 65 college touchdowns coming in there in the resume. When he was at Chandler, went 23-0 his last 2 years, 2 open division titles. His senior year, which was 2020, had 2,069 yards, 22 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That was just in a 10-game season, including playoffs. They played an 8-game season, and then they might have missed a game. They only played 7 games and had 3 playoff games, but they ended up playing 10 games. His junior year in 2019 had 2,835 yards, 23 touchdowns, and just 5 interceptions.
Man, Mikey's always been like that. The second that he takes a snap, he's always been a winner, a great leader on the field. This is going to be. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the playing time portion of it's going to look like.
Is the feeling that it's going to come down to like July, August kind of thing until they name a starter?
Yeah, probably. But I'm gonna let Coach Dillingham. I don't want to speak too much on this situation
I'm just asking you to guess if you think. If you think Dillingham will name a starter before the summer.
Yes. I do think.
I'm not asking who it will be, but okay, you think
I do think so. Mikey Keene is so talented, and I want to say that like the mix of, I know some people think that he's battling for 2, but I just can't see him coming in here and settling to battle for 2.
Especially after not playing last year, he'd be in the backup last year at Michigan.
Right, I see him pushing to be the 1, but I'm telling you now, Mikey Keene is so cerebral. You're going to see him after his playing days are done here at ASU. I think that you're going to see him get a Trenton Bourget type of opportunity and
He'd
jump
be
on the
the grad
coaching staff.
assistant or something, huh?
Yeah, yeah, here, for
Hmm.
most likely for ASU, and he's gonna get a very, very cool, unique opportunity. Trenton bounced over to that wide receiver room now, working with wide receivers. Last year he was working with Iguana with the running backs. So I think that Dillingham has had a super, and I'm sure a lot of Power Four colleges have situations similar. But Mikey Keene and guys like Mikey and Trenton and Cannon Siegel are so unique and special to the Valley because they're from here and they're so passionate about it. So I just think it's cool. Anyways, I'm gonna let you continue, but
Yep.
Mikey Keene is an absolute dog, and I love watching him work. So
We'll look at some defensive players here. Zeth Thews, defensive back, 5'11", 185, freshman from Liberty. Last year
uh,
at Liberty had 49 tackles, 8.5 tackles for loss, 4 interceptions in a semifinal appearance. The year before that at Liberty won the state title, 68 tackles, 13.5 tackles for loss, and 4 interceptions. His sophomore year, he was at Saguaro, where he won the 6A state championship, had 78 tackles and 2 interceptions. So a lot of winning there those last 3 years. And he was ranked number 80, the number 80 safety in the country by 24/7 Sports coming out his senior year.
and that's a big deal. That's a big deal. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
to be top 100 in the country at your position, like, I mean, you think about how many like Power Four and G6 schools that are out there. Like,
Just
that literally means that
just
you're,
about 80, yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, that literally means that like you're qualified. So shout out to Zeth Dews, everything that he accomplished in high school and stuff like that. And he's gonna be a hometown hero and try to do it at ASU and help in the locker room and things like that and on the field, obviously. So I'm
Yeah,
super excited.
he committed pretty early to ASU also.
He
Uh,
knew.
Tristan Bacon, linebacker, 6'1", 240, a redshirt freshman from Kellis. Redshirted at ASU last year, and then in his days at Kellis was a two-way player. As a senior, had 88 tackles, 2 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles as a linebacker, and then also was a running back, had 783 yards and 12 touchdowns, led the Cougars to a 10-2 record and the 5A quarterfinals.
Man, he looked good in high school. He was super special. I remember seeing him at a couple of those super practices and things like that. So super talented kid, and I can't wait to see him get loose on the field at Frank Cush Field.
Then we have a couple guys coming back to ASU from other colleges. Zach Swanson, defensive lineman, 6'5", 295, a redshirt junior from Brophy. Last year at ASU, had a severe ankle injury during spring, only played in 2 games. He's hoping to return for fall camp. And then the year before that, he played in 13 games for ASU, had 17 tackles. Before that, he was at Texas for 2 seasons, where he played in 3 total games. And then in his days at Brophy, was the 6A Desert Valley Region Defensive Player of the Year, had 42 tackles, 18.5 tackles for loss, and 12 sacks, was a 3-time all-region performer.
Man, he was a stud at Brophy. I remember how much Cody loved his film, loved him, loved what, and man would tell me all the time that he felt like Zach was arguably like the best defensive lineman in the state in his class. Super special kid, and getting a rebirth, a new opportunity here at ASU, and I think that this year should be a big year for him.
Mm-hmm. And then Michael Gardner, defensive lineman, 6'2", 300, redshirt sophomore from Liberty. Last year, missed all year with an Achilles injury, hoping to be ready for fall camp. Before that, he played in 3 games at Oregon, and then at Liberty was a 4-star prospect by ESPN and was the number 2 defensive tackle in the state by ESPN. His senior year had 58 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. In his junior year, had 86 tackles, 24 tackles for loss, and 10 sacks. So did a lot of disrupting in the backfield there.
Man, he was super special and really was one of the biggest parts of that Liberty defense being so special. I think that Michael was an absolute gift, and being able to watch him grow and do his thing, man, was a privilege. And I just hope that he's able to replicate a lot of that stuff, a lot of that action that he did at Liberty at home here on Frank Cush Field. So we'll see how that all works out.
Yep.
Anybody else? Did you have anybody else, or
that was all I did. I did
okay,
things
cool.
on.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure. Hey, your thoughts on this? I know initially jumping in and seeing how big the list actually was, and Carson Kiefer obviously
looked
on page
longer
2
than I expected when it covers up almost the entire paper.
Yeah.
Plus one for the kicker, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah, and these yellow pads are serious. So
That's right.
We're going through them weekly, like so. Shout out to our graphics guy, K Visuals.
Yep.
Always taking care of the graphics. Although we could have tried to squeeze the last person in somewhere because I feel like there's like some space. But anyways, I'll yell at K Visuals about that later. But yeah, surprised about the
beneficial things of being the college that's in the largest metro city in the state, so to say, is you get a lot of guys that might come back home. As opposed to the University of Arizona, down Tucson. There's been some guys that have come back from the Valley that played high school ball, and now they're down in Tucson. But it's obviously not as close for the guys that played in, whether it's the West Valley or the East Valley, et cetera. All the schools that we named in here, Kellis out in the West Valley, Chaparral in the Northeast Valley, et cetera.
No, man. What's it called? I'm super excited, man. I think guys like Raiden Binesbright, just have an absolute opportunity to go absolutely crazy this year. That wide receiving core looks so good, and I think Raiden Binesbright is going to be a guy.
Well, they got some big shoes to fill by the guy who's going to go in the first round. So
this is true. But this group is so loaded, and I think like Raiden's going to get an opportunity to make a big splash. I think your Ryan Nellums is going to get an opportunity to make a big splash too. I'm going to catch up with Beetle and not talk so much with him about this, but I'm going to ask him a little bit about this and let him, throw his 2 cents in there because I know he's been to a lot of spring practices, so he's seen a lot more things. But yeah, man, I'm excited. We've now seen the NAU list. We've now seen the ASU list. So yes, there's only one more list to go through. We can only hope. We can only hope that our guy, young Andrew Morgan, has enough AZ names to fill up another yellow pad. I think
right. Pressure's on.
and
you might have to write big.
Oh no, I'm trying to kill him. All right, hey, what's going on with your Suns right now? We got a few seconds here.
What's going on? We're just waiting for the play-in round here. They're pretty much locked into the 7. They're hosting Kevin Durant and the Rockets tonight. It'll be Durant's first time playing in the Valley. It'd be interesting to see what kind of reception he gets.
He's going to get booed every time he touches the ball because of all the bad things that he said. I know he tried to make good with it with Cam Cox today, chopping it up with him because like they used to be roommates or something like that. But I think that the reality is that Kevin Durant left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths here in the state of Arizona, and man, that dude's a real piece of work. A great player, an absolute great player. But I know a lot of people had such high expectations. They're like, oh, we got Kevin Durant paired up with Booker. It's going to be like when the Warriors got Kevin Durant, and it was not. It absolutely was not. So.
Well, it didn't help that, like, as soon as he got here, he got hurt. Remember, like during warm-ups or something.
Listen, that's just dumb. First off, that's just dumb luck. I mean, but that could have happened anywhere. That could have happened.
And
anywhere,
the Rockets are playing for playoff position here. They could be anywhere from 3, 4, or 5. If I'm the Rockets, I think I want to be in a 4 or 5 series against the Lakers. I'll tell you that.
Okay. Okay.
So,
yeah, because the Lakers are reeling now with my man Luka out. Luka was going bonkers for a minute. When I was in Hong Kong and Taiwan, I kept seeing the highlights.
He went bonkers the entire month. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But the Suns are they got 4 games left. They're 3 ahead of the Clippers for the 8. So you figure if they win one more game, they're probably seal the 7, and then they would host probably either the Clippers or the Trailblazers in that first one, and then they would play either the Clippers, Blazers, or Warriors if they should happen to lose, either playing for the 7 or playing for the 8.
Okay. Do you? How far do you think the Suns are going to
And
go?
they would both be home games. So the only way the Suns don't make the playoffs, which we
I
call
thought
the
they were locked
playoffs
in.
as,
Okay.
being in a series. The
Okay.
only way they don't make the playoffs is if they lose 2 home games next week.
I don't think that that's happening. Hey, so Cooper Flag comes to town tomorrow. Cooper Flag comes to town tomorrow. Over or under 40 for the rookie. What do you think? He's trying to chase this rookie of the year thing. Yeah, what do you think? Over or under 40 for him tomorrow night?
40 here against the Suns?
Against the Suns, yeah.
40
tomorrow. Yeah.
I'll say under 40, but I
Under?
think he'll have over 30. Yeah.
Oh, you think he'll have over 30 though? So okay.
I think he'll have over 30. Yeah.
Yeah, I could just see him dumping like a healthy 45 on the Suns. Now that I said that, he
pushed 50 up last week, right? Didn't he score 50 or 51?
He had like back-to-back games over 45 or something like that. One of them against the Lakers, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he's already had something like 4 40-point games.
All right. Koa Pete, going to the draft? Yes or no? What are your thoughts?
Sorry, what? Koa Pete? I think he is.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, our spotlight didn't work out so well as it did for most of the.
First off, that does not count as a spotlight. That does not go on our record. We already took heavy blemishes.
We're not claiming that on our record. And Koa had the most points on the team for what that's worth too.
Yeah, because he's the only one that had any heart to play. The rest of them dudes look scary out there.
I've heard and read the things that it would do him well to come back. Where he would be.
I saw Jacob Saliga post something. I saw Saliga post something.
I saw that, but I also saw a thing after Jacob posted that nationally. I think yesterday or today I think it was on CBS Sports, where they were suggesting that he'd be in the running for Player of the Year if he came back. They did say he needs to work on his 3-point shooting because that's where the NBA is now, and U of A as a team didn't take a lot of threes, and so as a result, he didn't take a lot of threes. It doesn't mean he can't hit them. They just he didn't shoot a lot of them, so we don't really know. And now, no matter what position you play, everybody in the NBA shooting threes. Memphis put 59 of them up the other night. So
that's so insane. John Morant's time over there is done. Also, I think so. I think that he's
he wasn't responsible for any of those 59.
All right, Cardinals draft. What are your thoughts here? What do they do with their pick? Trade back, maybe. I'm a fan of trade back. If
you can make it worthwhile, they've traded back before, and we've thought it was all right. If you're playing, if you believe that you're kind of tanking for a quarterback next year, which you can argue it looks like they have been doing, but with the way they've set up this year, is that trading back, and get yourself an extra pick for next year wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, especially if you want to take somebody who everybody says it would be a reach to take at 3.
Okay. Well, I mean, I just don't see them. I wish that they would really consider a running back in the first round. It doesn't have to be at 3. But I just wish they would maybe trade back and try to get a running back in the first round. One of those guys. I think that there's some good running backs in the first round that you can get.
Whereabouts do you think Jeremiah Love gets drafted? So how far down can you drop it?
So that's the one that I want, and for the Cardinals. For the Cardinals, that's the one that I want.
Is he? If you drop out of the top 10, is he still going to be there?
No, I don't think so.
Because remember, teams don't draft running backs that high anymore.
I know.
Ashton Johnson went high last year. He was maybe like 6 or 7, I think, last year.
Right. And Scadaboo was slept on, and he was an absolute dog. But Bijan Robinson was a guy that I wanted the Cardinals to reach for. He's pretty freaking good. Like he definitely has shown that he was worth that pick. If the Cardinals would have quote unquote reached for him.
Bijan was drafted in the top 10.
Yes, but I think closer to 10.
Yeah, I think it was 8.
So, yeah, so But yeah, I think the Cardinals should have drafted him, and I think the Cardinals had like a top 4 pick that year. So
I'm checking to see who
I
the Cardinals took that year. That was it was 2018.
don't make yourself unhappy. Don't make yourself
Oh my
unhappy
god, I
for
didn't need to see that. I don't think I got the right year. Let's see.
that.
Let's see. What was it? I don't know. Do I have what year you got drafted at? I don't have it right here.
All right. Well,
Oh, he was
you got it?
2019. Yeah, I was off by a year. Let me look at 2019.
Okay.
2019. Oh, what was the Kyler draft?
Yeah, I didn't want them to reach out. One, I wanted them to trade. I wanted them to make a deal. Actually, I wanted the Cardinals to take Bosa.
That's not, maybe he was in the Kyler draft. He
I
hasn't been
wanted
in the
them to
league.
take Bosa.
I don't know what I'm looking at here. I haven't found it.
Hold on.
I haven't found what year he was drafted.
Hold on. I'm gonna settle this.
He was
for you.
20. Okay, it was 2023. I found it here. 2023.
I was about to say
Here we are.
2019.
Let's
Those kids
see.
didn't
Okay, here's
graduate.
Bijan. Bijan went number 8. This was the year the Cardinals had the 2, and they made that trade with the or they had 3. They had 3, and the quarterback the quarterbacks went 1-2 with Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, and then the Cardinals made the trade with Houston, and Houston took Will Anderson. Cardinals moved down to number 6, where Bijan was still there, and they did not take him. They took Paris Johnson, the Ohio State offensive lineman.
I would have taken Bijan. That's just
of course, that time, I think the South Point offensive line might have been a little better than the Cardinals offensive line.
Oh, wow.
So you need an offensive line.
Yo. Okay. All right. So on that note, Gridiron, we always appreciate you. Men line, women line, numbers don't, always taking care of the community. Manual scoreboard, all the good stuff, and the official numbers guy of Flight Club. Been the official numbers guy of the community for going on what? This has to be like 14 years, right? 15 years. 15 since 2010. 2010. So
I've been doing this stuff?
Yeah.
This would be my 18th season.
18th. I was close. A little off, but it's all good. We're gonna have an anniversary on 20. I promise. So I'll be if we make it to an 11th season of the 2-piece, we'll do the manual. We will do a special manual 2-piece, which I don't know what that would even look like, but we'll make that thing.
They're all manual for me.
Oh my God, Gridiron. All right, man. Hey, I'm gonna catch up with you down the line next week for sure, and most likely gonna be looking at Arizona bred spring ballers from U of A and
Tucson,
from Arizona, but
right.
U of A. I'm sure they got a couple. I'm gonna talk to Andrew Morgan and find out.
They got some guys that played in the Valley.
I hope so. Well, I know they got Brandon Phelps, so they got Mr. Phelps over there, so that's 1, and then they got Luke Halgo, so that's 2. Those are the only 2 that I really know. I think those are the only 2 that I really know. But Gridiron, I'm gonna catch up with you down the line. Up next, I got Beetlejuice.
All right.
Got everything. I got everything. It's a lot. Never mind what I got. Don't watch that 'cause
It's been like a million years since I've seen you. I feel like you just grew like another like 2 inches, bro.
I swear it's a very long time, and it's been a while. I totally forgot to put the green screen up, so that's how long it's been. But
rookie mistakes.
you can't even believe it. I don't even know where it is right now. So you know what? We're just gonna go green today. We're just gonna go green.
Okay. Hey, you've been around. You've seen a lot of things. You've been to camps and stuff like that. Before we get into some of these high school kids that you've seen putting in the work this off season, let's talk about like the ASU stuff that you've been out and about at. You've been to a lot of spring practices. You heard most of what I said. Was talking about with Gridiron. Guys like Uriah Nelms cracking the 2 deep. Raiden Vinesbright going to get a big opportunity to make a splash. Zeth Thews the Mikey Keene stuff. Your thoughts on some of the things that we talked about?
Yeah, I think talking about Uriah Nellums specifically, there's been a couple of guys that have definitely stood out throughout ASU's fall camp, not big name guys. But Uriah is honestly the one I look at and say, this is a dude who stood out from day one and just every day finds a new way to make an impressive play is really what it is. I've been really impressed. It seems, I haven't gotten the chance to talk with him yet. But it seems like he's put on some size, which is huge for his game. He's already got the length, so adding that just takes it to another level. And his ability to make plays this spring has been really impressive just to kind of see the growth in this game. It's been a lot of fun to watch.
Hey, and the quarterback situation, I don't want you to get too much into it and projecting like who's going to start or whatever. I mean, the word is out there on who most of the people are thinking.
Mm-hmm.
But Mikey Keene, where does he fit into this puzzle? What are your thoughts here? And what are you expecting?
Mikey Keene still is and always has been that great guy that anytime you kind of need to take a step back in the pocket and let it fly, he's going to be that guy that's going to deliver on the money every single time. I think that's where most of his impressive throws have come this spring, are those ones where he's got that, comfortable time in the pocket to be able to launch it and make a great play to a wide receiver in stride. But I think also one of the other guys that has really, really impressed me, especially as a true freshman, is Jake Fetty. I think he has a lot of intangibles that you don't necessarily expect a incoming true freshman to have, especially right away at the start of the spring. And I've been really impressed with his overall game and the way he's been able to put it together through the air, on the ground. It seems like he kind of already has a great read on what his receivers do offensively. I'm sure there's a lot of communication between Arroyo and Ward and the wide receiver group and the tight ends. And I think that's the one thing that's going to make this ASU's offense really fun to watch this season, is how gelled they all look together. I think more of a it's, again, still spring, but you look at some of the other Kenny Dillingham springs, I think this is one of the more impressive offensive groups from a standpoint of, it looks like, everybody really has a firm idea of what their role is on the field.
No, for sure. And it's super competitive out there, as most of the Kenny Dillingham Ram practices are. Now, this quarterback room is super, I believe, is as competitive a quarterback room as we've had here at ASU.
Absolutely.
Probably in your coverage lifetime for sure, which is like what, 2-3 years. And then this wide receiver room is I really believe is ridiculously deep with talent. I think their top three is incredibly solid with the transfers of Raiden, Amarion, and Harris. And then I think expanding maybe to 5, I think that they got some legit go-getters, some legit guys. Would you agree that those two rooms are probably the deepest that we have ever seen, maybe in the last 6 years?
I think across the board, I wouldn't say 6 years, because now you're getting into Darby and Ayuk, and that group, that 2019 group, in my opinion, still holds a pretty high standard. But I think across the board, when you look at the pass catchers between wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, this is the best pass catching group from a depth standpoint Kenny Dillingham has had during his time at Arizona State. And I think the 3 guys that they brought in alone is evidence of that. I think Plash Johnson is another guy who's made huge strides. Again, a guy that's coming off an ACL injury, so all the more impressive. Corey Butler is still another guy who
and real quick, Plash flipped from defense to offense, also.
Which
I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just want to put that out there. So
you got guys like Jaron Hamilton and Jalen Moss still, who by the end of the season, because of injuries, were almost part-time starters in a sense. Jalen Moss started in that Sun Bowl. Jaron Hamilton finally kind of caught a rhythm towards the end of the season. And then you can't forget about guys like Derek Eusebio. Of course, we already talked about Uriah Nellums. And there's some other guys as well who definitely have the capability of Butter as well. Again, talk about another guy who's made the transition from positions. I mean, I guess we're talking about it. Clayton Smith, I guess you could throw in there, which it's been a unique thing to witness at practice, but it kind of feels normal again seeing him play on the defensive side of the ball. I wasn't there today, but I'm looking forward to watching him on Thursday.
Where were you? Where were you today? Where were you?
I was not there.
Sounds fishy. Sounds sus. All right. Anyways, real quick, let's get the business. Let's get the business because my guy Beetlejuice is being sus. We are going to discuss some things. Beetle's been around, out and about, hitting up the camps, the Under Armour circuit and stuff like that. Maybe not the exact circuit, but you went out to the one that was local, and you got to see a bunch of guys putting in work. And you've been around a little bit, seeing sevens and whatever you've been watching. You got a list over here. We got the Beetlejuice list. A lot of super talented kids, some that I absolutely love. Real quick, I'm going to run through it, and I'm going to let you break it down, what you liked and what you saw from each of these guys. This 2029 Castile defensive lineman, Simeon Sykes, I think could possibly end up being an outside backer of sorts. He is so long and rangy, and I think that he's going to be an absolute problem for the program. 2027 Hamilton defensive lineman Derek LeBlanc, a high motor kid who I think is an absolute stud and has been wreaking havoc the last 2 years. And then 2029 got some young fellas over here, like just like himself, Beetlejuice looking out for the young fellas. Brophy offensive lineman Yuen Taufate.
I've been saying Tafiti, but I think there is
Tafiti?
a better. I think there is a pronunciation. I would love to know the correct pronunciation because we're going to be saying.
I'm gonna get Coach. I'm gonna get Coach Jewel to let me know. 2027 Pinnacle offensive lineman. We're gonna talk a little bit more about this when you get into talking about him. The big fella offensive lineman Julian Jenkins, who officially, breaking news, my guy Adam Beadle, all over it, found out that he was transferring to Ohio, I believe, and we'll talk about that in a second. 2028 Desert View running back Jaylee Abraham was an absolute monster last year. And I know people talking about him in the same breath as like the Desmond Roebucks, Bijan Robinsons, just because of the ridiculous numbers that he put up last year. I cannot wait to hear what you have to say about him. 2028 Pinnacle linebacker Ian Fulmer has been an absolute stud lately. I'll let you take it away, Beetlejuice. Your thoughts on some of these guys or all of them?
Yeah, let's start with the young guys. This was kind of my first chance getting to see Simeon Sykes in action. He played freshman ball last year. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Landon Wade, and I love your evaluation of him as kind of an outside backer, kind of edge kind of guy. I think I see it.
Yeah.
And I say Landon Wade because he's young. He's a freshman. He's one of those guys that, you know, the size will get there, but the length is absolutely apparent. And I think he has a potential to be a difference maker. I'm excited to see him in pads this spring and just his continued development as well. But really, really, really cool to see him in action for the first time.
All right. Who else you got?
Another one, Ewan Tafiti. Again, would love a pronunciation in that. In my time covering Arizona high school football, there haven't been a lot of kids that I've looked at, a lot of offensive linemen that I've looked at and strictly said, you know, I think this kid is going to be one heck of a guard. I think it's cool to see guys, especially when they're younger, move around a lot and see them in different positions. But I think Ewan is one of those guys that if he, you know, just continues to develop as a guard, he has an extremely high ceiling. And to think that last year was his first year playing football, just to see him develop so quickly. And I love his work ethic. I see the videos of him all the time working. Man, he's working everywhere. He's working in the garage. He's working in the front yard. He's working in the park. You know, that's the kind of mentality, you know, I like to see guys have. And like I said, I think this is a guy who could really excel at the guard position if he continues to kind of just stay stable on that path. And then another young guy. And then
hold on. Ewan has incredible feet. The one thing that I have noticed, offensive lineman, big fella, he has incredible footwork.
Yeah.
I love the way his feet move. I just wanted to put that out there. Adam, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And then kind of keeping it with the young guys, but I guess they're going to be upperclassmen very soon. I think you can agree with this. I think the biggest takeaway from the day at the Under Armour camp about Jaylee Abraham was that if you didn't know who Jaylee Abraham was before, you most certainly do now.
He was a dog.
He impressed a lot of people. I think he caught the attention of a lot of the national media that was there. So I think this spring is going to be very exciting for Jaylee. I would not be surprised if he is one of those guys we see his recruiting just kind of explode this offseason. You've already talked about it. I'm not sure how much more good things there is to say um, about Jaylee's abilities. I think he's just an absolute stud. And then Ian Fulmer as well was kind of the guy, the unsung hero in a sense of Pinnacle last season. I think he did a lot of really great things. I think he's going to continue to develop into a really special player. I meant to pull up his stats. And
Was that the Corona
forgot.
del Sol game that we saw him at? Where we were
Yes, yes,
who's
that was
that?
the first
And,
time I
like,
got to see him. And he caught my eye. He had 48 tackles, 20 TFLs last season, 12 and a half sacks. So this guy is a force and will get into your backfield if you don't prevent him from doing so. Again, he's going to be a junior next season. Another guy I think we should expect to see start to pick up some offers come this spring for sure.
All right, now you're old guys. I don't want to say old guys because they're like young still, but going to be seniors, going into the last year. I'll let you start with who you want to start with.
Yeah, let's go with Derek LeBlanc. In my opinion, and again, this is thus saith the Adam. If I had a defensive MVP award, I probably would have given it to Derek. And I'm not saying that because of the Hamilton bias. I promise. It's not because I went to Hamilton High School. He just impressed me a lot. I think he's another guy who's really grown a lot. I still think his best game last year was that Basha game by far, and just seeing how well he got past those really talented Basha offensive linemen was really impressive. I really like just his strength and athleticism that he's built over the years. This is a kid, I think, Chili, I think you can attest to this from his freshman year. We know that he was going to develop into this well of a prospect. And I think Hamilton's had a couple of guys over the last couple of years that for some reason have fallen in a sense almost under the radar. I don't think Derek is one of those kids who's totally fallen under the radar. But I do think he is still a little bit underlooked. And I think whatever program he ends up going to, he is really going to be a steal and make a difference right away for the team that he goes to.
Real quick, Derek on the defensive line reminds me a little bit of Brandon Buckner from Chandler. They're going to get a lot in the sense that I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, a little bit undersized, this at the third. Super high motor kid, though. He will absolutely not take any plays off, and you will get 100% on every play.
You know who I actually think he reminds me a lot of is another Hamilton kid is Deuce Davis. I see a lot of comparisons between Derek LeBlanc and Deuce Davis in their game.
Okay. That's okay.
And then our last guy,
in terms of production, for sure.
In terms of production, absolutely. Our last guy, again, news kind of today. Julian Jenkins, offensive lineman out of Pinnacle, is heading to Archbishop Hoban. Another kid whose growth I'm really impressed with. Super excited for his future. I thought the one part that made him special last season was with Pinnacle is, Coach Zupke continuously said throughout the year that, he was really happy with the size of his offensive line. He felt like it was one of the biggest offensive lines he's ever had. I thought Pinnacle,
sure.
They didn't have the success they may have wanted, but I thought they had a really killer red zone offense last season. I think they were really good at getting in the end zone when they had the opportunity to, and he was absolutely a huge part of that. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think Julian made it into the finals group, or the kind of few that got selected out at the end.
I think so. I think you're right.
And he held his own. And I think he moved around and played in a couple different spots at the tournament. And so to just see his continued development in a bunch of different areas has been fun to watch, and wishing him all the best of luck in Ohio.
Yeah, for sure. Tag us in your highlights, Julian.
Absolutely.
He's gonna be great, man. And I'm super excited for him. I hope that he gets everything that he wants out of transferring. And I'm not sure what all the details are, but I just hope that he's taken care of and loved as much by the media out there as he was by the media out here. So that being said, Beetlejuice, your takeaways from high school spring so far for the football stuff. I know you've seen a handful of 7 stuff, and then anything else that comes with it. So I know you've definitely seen like the 7's highlights because kids all tag you, man. Like,
yeah, I've seen highlights. I'm excited I think there's a couple of guys who have really blossomed and are going to kind of expecting big things from them this spring. I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to a lot of the different circuits. I've watched a little bit of Tucson Turf and OT7, or sorry, a little bit of the 5-star. I think that's the
Yeah.
team that's been going. They've had some close games, some fun games to watch. Obviously, when you get a team with Will Menzel, Jai Jones, and Roy Oliver, it's pretty fun to watch. So, and they're drip too, man. Those jackets that they got are pretty clean. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, shout out to
So-
my guys, Common Hype. There's a company out here, a local company, Common Hype, that designed all their stuff. They're located on their headquarters is on Mill and Southern, on the northwest corner, and then they also have a location in Scottsdale Fashion Square. Local Basha kids that put together, a hype beast store, and
Heck yeah.
they're all about that. They're all about that culture, and so they designed it, and some great kids over there. So just wanted to give them a little bit of
Yeah.
juice there. Beetle, anything else?
No,
Besides yourself?
I'm ready for high school spring ball to get started. I still can't stop thinking about Gridiron saying South Point's offensive line was better than the Cardinals. It's been in the back of my
Yikes.
mind this whole time. I was like, when he said that. But yeah, see if the Suns can make this playoff run. And
How far do you think they're gonna go? Realistically, being a realist, not a fan, but a realist. Like 3 rounds, 2 rounds, Western Conference Finals. Could you see it?
I think 2 rounds. Because
Okay.
they'll end up being a play-in team, right?
Yeah.
So play-in.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think they'll get past the play-in. They'll get in. They'll get past
Okay.
the first round, and then probably lose in the second round.
In 6, in 5, in 4. You think they're getting swept?
Depends on who it is. To be honest, I haven't
Okay.
looked at the
The standings,
field.
overall?
I don't know what the field looks like right now.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think it's OKC, San Antonio. I think those are probably 2 teams. I think Philly's
you-
up there too.
So you think OKC or San Antonio is going to get them in the second round? Going to beat them in the second round?
No, I'm just saying I think OKC or San Antonio is probably going to win it all.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, that would mean that they probably beat the Suns in the second round. I think because I think it's going to be OKC and the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals. I can't believe how good Oklahoma City is.
That would be a lot of fun to watch. If that's what the Western Conference Finals ends up being, I'm probably going to watch every game because that would be really exciting.
I can't believe how good Oklahoma City is, and I can't believe how good Wemby is. Like,
And you know what's funny? They still got more draft picks.
that is so insane. What are they going to
still got more draft
what are
picks?
What are they going to do with
I
all
don't
those
know.
picks?
I
They're going
mean,
to end up drafting.
So
like
here's
Peterson or
here's the
Devances.
problem they're going to run into. You can't have. They're eventually going to run into a problem because you can't put every single guy on a max contract because that's their issue. Yeah, they've got all these first round draft picks and they've drafted all these guys, and a couple of them are still on their rookie 4-year contracts. But once you get to that time extensions, you can't have everybody on a max contract. Eventually, you're gonna have to lose some guys.
You just got to pay the price. You just got to pay the price. You just got to pay the tax.
I
Gotta pay
just
the
wonder
luxury tax.
when that point in time is going to be when they start to kind of drop. I don't think they'll ever, I think they've worked it in a way with the picks that they'll be able to, kind of still be at the top. But I wonder when that time is going to happen when they, things start to go differently.
Man, I don't know. Hey, we're still way early, but there's so much activity. I'm just curious. Top 4 teams. Arizona high school football next year.
Ooh, he asked the question.
Hey, no, listen. I'm gonna ask you this question today, and then probably in like a month or 2 months, I'm gonna ask you again. And it might change. Maybe your answer today might not be your answer tomorrow because who knows which transfers come in. But I don't know. Maybe you're looking at the Kale kid from I think Kale from Queen Creek, and you're like, ooh, this guy's a difference maker. And I think that him and Sawyer are going to connect for 27 touchdowns, and then they're going to be a nightmare for everybody and storm the 6A. Or maybe you're like, hey, once Dane gets settled over at Red Mountain come game 6, him and was it Caden Walker or whatever?
Caden Weaver.
Or
Stud.
Caden Weaver, they're going to be absolutely nasty.
Yeah.
So, I'm just not sure. Maybe you see some things differently,
Yeah.
or maybe you're just like, hey, you know what? Let's just give the title to Basha. They got my green screen already. I'm repping the
Oh
brand.
wow.
Like
Oh
let's
wow.
push forward. So, or
well,
maybe you're like, hey, listen, Jai Jones is really that guy. Everything that
well,
Chili
you know what?
said,
I'll,
Jai
I'll
Jones
tell you.
is him.
I'll tell you what. I will definitely go Bash at number 1 to start, and I also want
Okay.
to add in the addition of TK Cunningham is huge. I think
Oh, for sure.
the things that, again, this is all just preliminary. The things that Basha is going to be able to do on the defensive line next year in terms of moving guys around in different spots. You've got a guy like Caleb Jordan who, even if you needed to, you could move him back to linebacker. They have so many guys that have so much pure athleticism that they're going to be able to fluctuate dudes all over that front seven. So I'm really excited to watch that go down, and TK will be eligible week 1
Immediately.
Hamilton's probably my number 2 right now. I've gone to a couple of their just getting to see them lift, kind of getting to see them work. And I've been really impressed with some of the work they've been putting in the weight room.
Jack Scully going to be available week 1. Your opinion.
That's the question. That is the question.
Your opinion, guessing, your thoughts. Prayer works.
My thoughts, my opinion is that he won't. Again, opinion, not a fact.
Yeah. For
not
sure.
anything.
For sure. Speculation. It's speculation.
Speculation.
Hey, listen. Jack Scully will be back next year.
Yes.
We just don't
100%.
know when. Just don't know when. So we're guessing. This is
I for sure
game.
expect it to be before the 5th game of the season.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. Well, obviously they're not a 6A team, but Desert Edge, my number 1 team in 5A. Just throwing that out there.
They're everybody's number 1 last year too. So
yeah.
As long as they don't go 10-0, 1-1.
I'm gonna rock with Red Mountain and Coach Enders. I think Red Mountain. I've been really excited about some of the stuff they've been doing this off season. And they seem to really be putting the work in. Their guys have been killing it on the 7th circuit. I think the addition of Dane Silver is huge for them. Like you said, I think we're gonna see a different team week 6 versus week 1. I think that's going to be the case for a lot of teams. But I'm eager about what they are going to be able to do. And I hate to do this, but I'm gonna put a T4, 2 teams, T4, and that's Brophy and Chandler. I think the biggest question mark for because both of these teams have 2 big question marks. One for Brophy is the situation at starting quarterback. Who's going to be the guy? Is he going to be able to pick up the load that the Case Vandenbosch took on last season on the ground and through the air?
Stewart's a dog. Stewart's a dog.
I think that's important. And yeah, I think he could absolutely be the guy. Again, I got an in-person eval and see this team.
I don't know that you've seen.
I haven't yet. That's the only reason why I say I have not seen him yet. So I'm not doubting any of the abilities.
For sure.
But got to see it in person, and then Chandler as well. I've got to throw in Chandler. One of my big question marks for them is their offensive line. I know they have an absolutely fantastic quarterback. But they do graduate quite a few guys in the offensive line, and honestly graduate quite a few receivers as well. I think it's going to take some time for Chandler to build that continuity offensively, even though they have, as good of a quarterback in Will Menzel as they have.
The best one in the country.
But to get all 11 clicking, I think it's going to take some time. But I put them in a T4 because I have no doubt that they will figure it out and they will get it done.
Impressive. Hey, listen, I like all those 5 teams that you mentioned for 4 spots. One team I do want to mention and add. I don't want to talk about any of the teams that you talked about, but one team that I do want to mention and add, I've taken a look at their schedule, and I think that they're going to be super impressive, and they're going to make a push to try to get in, to probably try to compete with the bottom of your list, Higley. I think that Higley's going to have a real opportunity to compete with the bottom of your list. I'm stunned.
I like that a lot too.
and I'm stunned, and I am never, ever, 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 because of what he's done in recent years, I am never going to disrespect that side of the state. I am going to mention Liberty because I think that they're coming back with some different things. That offensive line is going to be young. They're going to have a young quarterback. They're
I'm
going to have a
excited
new
for that
running
young
back over
quarterback.
there. Yeah, Haynes, right?
Yeah.
I think that he's an absolute stud. I've got to watch him work a little bit. That offensive line is going to be young. I think their starting center last year was a freshman, and I think the entire right side is going to be a pair of kids coming up in the same class. One of them, 6'9" monster, 6'8", 6'9" monster. And I got to watch him play freshman ball, and it looked absolutely crazy because
Yeah.
this kid was like 6'8", 6'9", and just moving kids around, and good bend and all that for being
Yeah.
a 6'9" football player. So
I think offense, they're going to be pretty young and well centered. I do have some question marks defensively just because they do lose, Zethus and Hudson Dunn, who have been key, and all those guys on the defensive line up front. Ty Bernstein, Paz St. John, just to name a few. So I think this is going to be an interesting offseason for Liberty because they have to fill more spots this year than they maybe had to have had in the last couple of years. But again, it's we know what Liberty can do year after year. We know what Coach Thomas, the types of programs he builds. So there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that they are going to find the right guys, the right people, and put it together.
And Coach Guinea, the architect of that defense over there, has done a phenomenal job making sure that team is competitive year in, year out, especially with the bulk losses that they've had. Because don't forget, there was a year that they lost like Michael Gardner and Anthony Ruiz in one year. And then there was a year that they lost like the Navi Bruzon, the Prince Zombos on the other side. And there was a year, like it seems like it goes back and forth. They're losing guys on one side or the other. So, the shout out to Coach Thomas and the program that he's built. Coach, hey, and real quick, with some of these coaching jobs that are open, there are two names that I'm looking at to fill some of these spots. One, I would look at Coach Guinea very, very seriously. If he wants to be a head coach somewhere, I am absolutely giving that man the keys to the building, the keys to the car, to let him run a program and create some monsters. The other one is Coach Ortiz. I am absolutely stunned that his name has not come up for more of these opportunities out there. I know right now he's a running backs coach over at Higley, but the guy is so extremely talented and such a good offensive play caller. What he did over at Cactus, and then what he was starting to do over at Perry. I think that he definitely needs to be in the mix for some of these jobs, the Valley Vistas, Good Years, and even the Saguaros if necessary.
I think that Coach Ortiz should be the first call for any of these schools that are still looking for a head coach. Absolutely. What I will say,
I just don't know what the name is going to be.
What is it called? Right now, it's called like Champions
Circle
Champions Circle High School, or Circle Champ. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know a whole lot on. I'm not very well educated on that whole situation. It kind of came out of nowhere, to be honest.
It did. Shout out to Coach Hovick, though. He was amazing.
Yes, I did talk to Coach Hovick. Excited for what's next for Coach Hovick for sure. What I will say about some of the coaching things, I would expect a name to be announced for Valley Vista, likely within the next 2 weeks for sure. I think they're kind of in the stages of
that's 14 days
of narrowing down their final decision for that. Goodyear, I know, is still searching. Goodyear, it could take some time just because they're not going to be playing a varsity season next year. So I'm not sure what the exact timeline is for that. I know Saguaro conducted their interviews, at least started them last week. Still no official time frame on when they expect to make a hire. I do still expect them to make a hire sometime in April. Would not be surprised if that is also another 2 to 3 week process.
Is there okay? So real quick before I let you go, Adam, is there a chance that the head coach will not be at any of these programs, at any of these certain programs, by the time those spring jamborees start, or do you think that
By the
they're all
time the
going to be
spring
filled?
jamborees start, I expect all 3 of them to be filled. By the time
Okay.
that and then that's May. So I
Okay.
think that gives a pretty good timeline for these schools to make a decision. I know Saguaro had plenty of applicants, so there's no shortage in people who are wanting to coach there. I know
That's good because they've lost a lot of guys.
I was about to say they've been losing quite a bit of players. Working on, I will say, I'm working on getting an official number of the current players total in the program. Just because I have heard from people who have had players transfer over to their school unexpectedly. And lastly, kind of just something that got swept under the radar that have been kind of falling for a while. Chandler related, Chili of Chandler related. People might remember Caden Palmquist, 6'4" tight end defensive end out of Valley Christian.
Oh yeah.
He has transferred to Alito High School in Texas. So wishing him all the best. He was an absolute stud. I think Valley Christian, figured out that they moved him more around last year. He played a lot more DN than tight end last year. And that really worked. We really worked well for him. He was dominating by the end of the season. So all the best of luck to Caden. A huge stud out of Valley Christian.
Okay. All right, Adam, I'm gonna catch up with you next week. We're gonna break down a couple more guys that you've seen in this off season, and then we're gonna get to the fun stuff. I appreciate you hanging out. And real quick before I let
one more thing, super quick. Got a super cool thing coming up with Coach Brian Wright over at NAU in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned.
Okay.
I've got something really, really, really cool that's coming. So
we can't wait. We can't wait. I was just about to say something, and then you threw me off with that. Sorry. So I'm super excited about that. But I'll when I remember, I'll hit you up. I'll call you or whatever. But yeah, other than that, I will see you.
See you Saturday next day. ASU practice.
Thursday? What time is it? 6 o'clock.
6:15.
I'm gonna try to get to ASU practice on Thursday. Most likely gonna be Saturday. Maybe we'll get some food or something afterwards.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good.
All right. Later.
Later.
Beetlejuice. He's gone. Yeah, man. Hey, listen, I appreciate everybody always hanging out, supporting. Flight Club will be coming back. I know I've had a bunch of coaches asking. I did get out to that Roy Lopez event. I mentioned that last week, and I had a bunch of coaches that were out there asking if I was going to do Flight Club again. The location, I'm working out the location right now. But yes, Flight Club will be back. And don't worry about it. If you want in, hit me up. Most of y'all know how to get a hold of me. If you don't, find a way. Or just tell your coach to hit me up, because most of them can hit me if they need. Other than that, I think I'm gonna make my way out of here. I gotta go eat some dinner. And then I gotta go break down all the stuff that is processing in my brain. And without further ado, your boy Chili, I'm gonna catch y'all later. At Just Chili, Instagram, Twitter, at Just Chili, just like the sign. At Just Chili, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Just Chili TV, YouTube, TikTok, but I don't do a lot of stuff on TikTok, so don't be disappointed. Other than that, it's just Forks Up forever. Y'all know the deal.
Got everything, I got everything. It's a lot, never mind what I got. Don't watch that, 'cause I